I would just like to take this opportunity to offer a very heartfelt thanks from the side of the IKS Division to the AICTE team, without whom this would have been absolutely impossible. So it was one of the first events that we were organizing at such a big scale as soon as we've joined. So I know that we don't thank our own people. It's not done in the Bhartiya Parampara. अपने को हम धन्यवाद नहीं बोलते हैं. फिर भी I thought it's really important that हमारे जो टीम के मेंबर्स हैं, सदस्य हैं, वो लोग हमेशा हर प्रोग्राम के पीछे रहते हैं और करते रहते हैं. Selflessly they keep doing, गालियाँ खाते. It's a thankless job, like all of us would know. So I'll just take this opportunity to say a thank you to each one of them on the committee. I'd like to start by thanking our chairman himself, Professor Anil Sahasrabuddhe-ji. He's a most inspirational character with his simplicity, and he really supports every single activity. He would have been very angry if he was here that I was doing this, but I'm taking full advantage of his absence. So I would like to thank him. And then I would like to express my thank you to also our member secretaries. First, the Vice Chairman, sir, Professor Punya-ji, who also has been a very big source of support. Professor Rajiv Kumar-ji, who is our member secretary, who in fact, just with a few strokes of his pen, I just had to go to him and he said, everybody come and get this going. So it was really that single signature that made this magic roll. So a heartfelt thank you to him. And then we have the entire committees. So we had different committees that were formed, and so they're the welcome committee. I'll just read out to express my gratitude. So this Mamta Rani ji, Professor Rajendra B. Kadke ji, Dr. Neeraj Saxena ji. The state coordination team was led by Dr. R.K. Soni ji, Mrs. Reena Sharma ji, Ms. Sanju Choudry ji, Shri Tarun Kakkar ji. So a few of these people, especially Tarun Kakkar ji, I'd like to make a special mention because he sacrificed his weekends just to be here to ensure that he handheld us through every little step and was here before everybody else to make sure that the program was as flawless as possible. The invitation, and then there was Ms. Binduji, Shreyas Kurhekar. I will come to our team at the end. We had the invitation committee by Dr. Neetu Bhagat ji, Shri Rakesh Kumar Ganju ji, Shri Vipin Kumar ji, Shri Anurag Deshpande, who's also from our IKS division. He's a research fellow. And Shri Shreyas Kurhekar ji also, who did the Vedic chanting and will do it again for us, is also a research fellow, very knowledgeable research fellow at the IKS division. We had the registration committee, Ms. Vuju Manushi ji, Shri Pankaj Pandey ji, Ms. Meenu ji, Shri Monty ji, and Dr. Sanjeev Panchal, who's been running around like crazy and held the fort in our absence. So very heartfelt gratitude to you. Sandeep Dubey ji. Then we had the audio projection in the auditorium and photography. So none of these fantastic things would have been possible without their, again, spending of their weekends and spending their time for this. So we have Shri Manoj Singh ji, Shri Rahul Kumar ji, Shri Ajay Bansal ji. These were all on the front, and behind that we had Sandeep ji, Ranjit ji, and their entire team that held the fort for us. The seating arrangements, we had Dr. Amit Datta ji, Dr. Satish Kumar ji, another key pillar in the AICTE organization who manages accommodation. An incredible amount of effort that they put in for all the events. And then we have Devadevam ji, Shri S.K. Chuk ji, Hospitality Committee, Colonel A. Srinath, another person who ensured that all our food and all was prepared, and we had enough and more. Mr. Kranti Singh ji, who's also in our midst, I'll take this opportunity to say a thank you to him. So thank you very much. And with the Indian stretchable time that we were in, they really made themselves, they adjusted to that to fit us all in, and with a smile. So that's very heartening. Dr. Giridhari Lal Gargji, Mr. Girish Basinji, Shri Dalchandji, another very important person who holds the fort. Then the purchase committee, a few people, we had Dr. Madhukar Vavreji, another without whom we wouldn't have had some of these small details of the post, of the folders and all. Shri Sunil Kumar ji, Mr. Parimjit Singh ji, Mr. Rita Arora ji, Shri K.S. Rao ji, transportation, accommodation, which ensured that all our guests could be here in time. We had Shri R.P. Singh ji, Shri Satish Kumar ji again, Shri Dalchand ji, Shri Harish ji, Shri Shreyas Kurhekar ji again, Yashpal ji. So we had the staff at IKS Division, Yashpal ji, Prashant ji, Abhinav ji, Avinash ji, and Prashant ji. Yes, so they are at the IKS division. They are the helm there. I mean, they support the entire support staff. Media and arrangements, press release, Lieutenant Colonel Kailash Bansal ji, Shri R.P. Singh ji, and then for the safety security, again Colonel Srinath, Shri Sunil Kumar ji, and Shri Balvinder Singh ji. So these were just the names in front, and we had, of course, at the helm our chief coordinator who had facilitated the conduction of this program in the AICTE auditorium in itself, our chief coordinator, Shri A.B. Shukla ji. So I would like to extend heartful thanks, not just to them, to the entire Rashtram fraternity, all the student volunteers, all the volunteers who did not come but who held the fort behind, Dr. Sampadananda ji, and many others, the visible and the invisible hands that have ensured the success of this program, all the media personnel who were here, the videographers, and I hope I have not left anybody out. It's a long list, but it's a list that I think is absolutely worth mentioning. So every single one whom I have talked about, and not very sincere gratitude to them. I would like to end by requesting everybody to give a very big round of applause to Dr. Richa Chopra. I mean, she's like a one-woman army, not just one, she's like a unstoppable one-woman army, not just one. So without her constant vision and, drive and motivation, I think a lot of this we would not have been where we are today with respect to the program. So thank you all very much.
सभागार में उपस्थित सभी मनीषियों को मेरा नमस्कार। आज का ज्ञान, संस्कार और कौशल्य पर आधारित हमारी भारतीय शिक्षा तथा ज्ञान विज्ञान से युक्त भारतीय शिक्षा व्यवस्था पर आधारित यह कार्यक्रम हमने उत्साह और आनंद के साथ संपन्न किया। इसी प्रकार परस्पर सहयोग, परस्पर सहकार्य और परस्पर सामंजस्य रखते हुए इस कार्य को आगे बढ़ाने की मनीषा से इस वैदिक प्रार्थना के साथ जो ऋग्वेद के 10वें मंडल का सूक्त है, हम लोग आज का समापन करेंगे। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। सं समिद्युवसे वृषन्यग्ने विश्वान्यर्या इळस्पदे समिध्यसे सनो वसून्याभरा संगच्छध्वं संवदध्वं संवो मनांसि जानताम् देवा भागं यथा पूर्वे संजानाना उपासते समानो मंत्रः समीतिः समानी समानं मनः सह चित्तमेषाम् समानं मन्त्रमभिमन्त्रयेव समानेन वो हविषा जुहोमि समानी व आकूतिः समाना हृदयानि वः समानमस्तु वो मनो यथा वस्सु सहासति वाङ् मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठिता मा विरावीर्म एधि वेदस्य म आणीस्थश्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीः अनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु मामवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम्। ओम शांति शांति शांति।